Hey, you're listening to A Chat with Heart. I'm your host, Christina Martin. I'm a singer-songwriter, curious human. I live on a dirt road in rural Nova Scotia with my partner in crime, Dale, and our calico cat, Olivia. This podcast is basically just me chatting with people I admire. I like to ask questions that feed my curiosity, and my guests have all taught me something. They either crack me up or they punch me right in the feels. If you've got questions, comments, or a burning desire to join the conversation, please call my Heartbeat hotline, day or night. It's 1-902-669-4769. You can also email me at christinamartinmusic@gmail.com. And if you want to throw a little love my way and help keep this thing going, visit my Patreon page. That's how artists like me get paid. Thanks for showing up. Warning, heartfelt content ahead. If we just talk about it, we could shine a light, we could break a dark day. If we just talk about it, we can cut away, we can make a brighter day. Hi, friends. Welcome back to A Chat with Heart podcast. I am genuinely excited to share this episode with you. We recorded it yesterday. This is one of those conversations that left me feeling cracked open, lighter, and somehow way more energized, like all at the same time. And I think part of that is that, well, my guests today are just phenomenal. But I was just so happy to have two old friends come by the house. And, when you haven't spent time with somebody in a while and you kind of like, I mean, you know how awesome it is, but you kind of forgot how really awesome it is. Anyway, in this episode, I am joined by two very special humans, two old friends. Like we go back to 2004 or 5. And those friends are Meaghan Smith and Jason Mingo. And before I get into what we talked about, I don't want to, spoil it all. I want you to listen. But I do want to say a few things. Okay, these are two people with deeply fascinating life journeys. They are thoughtful, funny, wildly talented. Go back to funny, hilarious. And they're so deeply human. And I was reminded, and now I have this episode to remind me ongoing, they're the kind of people that I can laugh with, I can go deep with, and then laugh again 5 seconds later with. Let's talk about unbalanced lives for a second. Early on in this conversation, Meaghan opens up about like living an unbalanced life. And I felt that reminder immediately in my body, because like same, I've been there, honestly, most of my life. I feel was like trying to achieve like a kind of balance. And I'd see kind of glimpses of it now and then and think, I wish it could be like this all the time. And I think some of us are wired to go all in, all heart, all effort, all the time. And while that kind of living can lead to really beautiful things, as it has for not only myself, but I think our guests today, it can also lead to burnout and health scares and those moments where your body gently or not so gently taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, I'm going to stop this for you. Meaghan speaks so honestly about that, as does Jason. And, it made me realize just how many self-employed folks, and I can speak to artists because I've been there, I know are working nonstop, pushing themselves to the limit, and until the only thing that actually stops you is illness, and that that's landed hard for me. And so, yeah, it feels like a very important thing to talk about. And I think sometimes it really does feel like I have no other choice. I got to keep going. And maybe that is the way it has to be for a while. I don't know. But if it is, just know that at some point there should be, I think, a point where you make the decision for your own health and wellness to make a change. And it can be a gradual change. It could be something like a cold turkey change. We definitely don't want anyone to not have security, financial security, but to talk to friends, professionals, even that can help you make a transition. And that's going to look different for everybody. I know that. So don't, when you're listening to this, don't run out and just quit your day job or stop what you're doing immediately, maybe. But I think the first step is thinking about it and talking to people. And certainly this is, there's some easy things to make changes. There are some hard things that you might want, that might need to do. But I'm certainly open to the conversation with anybody outside the podcast if you need that. Oh my gosh, I also have a Chat with Heart podcast hotline. The number's in the intro and the outro if you want to call and reach out for some support in that department, or just share a story of your own, how you transition from unbalanced life to maybe a little more balanced or balanced. I'm open to all good and not so good results. We want it all. Yeah. So this episode's a little different because, which is part of the fun. I showed up with actual cue cards, like old school, pencil and paper. No notes, no outline, pretending to be prepared for a conversation. I just wrote a bunch of questions down, threw them literally in a hat, and the three of us took turns pulling the questions out of a hat. And there was no overthinking or anything, just answering in the moment, honestly, and hanging out with two old friends. And wow, things like surface in the best way. We did not plan to talk about any of this. Things that probably wouldn't have come up if I had tried to control the flow of the conversation. And there is something about, I think, letting go. I mean, yeah, I prepared by having a few questions and a hat, but something about just kind of being in a chill environment and feeling comfortable that invites truth. And you can hear that happening in this episode. So let me give you just a little taste. If you're interested in topics like shingles, burnout and health wake-up calls, making dreams come true, living the dream. Sometimes we don't even realize we're living the dream. We need those reminders. I think this is a good episode for that too. I remember thinking, wow, we are just living the dream. It's not always easy. And if you like laughing, if you like good impressions, I think you're absolutely in the right place. So before we dive in, let me just brag for my two friends for a minute. And this is just going to scratch the surface about them both, because some of you are overseas listening. You may not be familiar with them, but you now will be, and you can go to their websites. Jason, Mingo, and Meaghan Smith have their own separate websites for their work. Just Google them. They will come up because they are celebrities, world famous, I think. Meaghan Smith. Let's start with Meaghan. Meaghan Smith is a Juno Award. How dare I screw this up for my wonderful friend. Meaghan Smith is a Juno Award-winning singer-songwriter and musician, known for her soulful voice and her ability to blend vintage pop with modern storytelling in a way that feels both timeless and deeply personal. Can you tell I pulled this from her website? She's released multiple records spanning orchestral pop, swing, and beloved holiday music. She's toured and shared stages with artists like Sarah McLachlan, Katie Lang, and David Gray, and even starred as Louisa in The Fantastics. But beyond the accolades, what I admire most about Meaghan is this. She chooses curiosity over comfort. Maybe, I don't know if you agree with me, Meaghan, but that's what I think. Truth over polish. Not that she has some really polished, beautiful work, but like within the work is, I like polished work, by the way, there is that truth and honesty and very, heartfelt, emotional content. And and herself, again and again, showing up again and again on her socials, in her art. She speaks very honestly, too, about her success and her health and creativity, and speaks about the real cost of doing what you love, which I love. And she does it with humor and tenderness, and I think clarity and zero bullshit. And yes, she has a holiday show coming up December 19th and 20th in HRM in Halifax. You can grab tickets at meaghansmith.com. Truly, if you're anywhere nearby, go. Okay. Jason Mingo is a record producer, composer, multi-instrumentalist, and collaborator with many, whose work spans writing, producing, engineering, and performing. Jason began his guitar player as a guitar player. See, I don't want to mess this up for Jason. How dare I? I'm also pulling this from his website. He began as a guitar player, but then he expanded into drum programming, synth, production, honing his craft through collaborations with world-class producers in Los Angeles and London. He has co-written and produced music for artists including Meaghan Smith, Ria May, with work featured across major label and independent releases, film and television. I mean, if you go to his website, there are dozens and dozens of song placement credits and commercial work he's done. He's toured extensively across Canada, the US, and the UK, sharing stages with artists like Sarah McLachlan, Katie Lang, and Ron Sexsmith. And he is a very thoughtful, grounded, curious, and honestly, friggin' hilarious human. He understands both the magic of making things and the realities of living a full life outside of the industry. He also, I think, is a good, deep listener. He speaks very intentionally, and he brings a sense of calm that doesn't dim the spark of a conversation. It just kind of sharpens it, you know? This episode is so special to me. It's not just the talent that showed up to our house. It's like the lived experience and the fact that like this is a chat with two dear friends I hope to see, laugh, and cry with much more in our lifetime. We have time. I'd say at least 50 years. These are people who have followed creativity and they've asked hard questions. They have made things. They've broken things. They are healing. They have healed things. They were deep inside the music industry, and in my opinion, they've cracked the secret to moving beyond it to more independence, or alongside it. There's no neat moral wrapped up with a bow here. Just three humans sitting together, and we're pulling questions out of a hat, and then we're trusting whatever needs to be said. I think that's where the real magic lives, folks. So settle in, go for a walk, sit in your car a little longer than you planned. This is A Chat with Heart with Meaghan Smith and Jason Mingo. We're just talking about supplements. Are you on any supplements, Meaghan?
I sure am, but I just like HRT. For sure.
HRT.
Hormone replacement therapy.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I've been on it since early 40s.
Is that awesome?
No.
Like it's not helping?
Well, it is helping.
Okay.
But the fact that I have to take it is not awesome. But yeah, I do that. And I do multivitamins, and then, I don't know, knock on wood, but I think
That's not wood.
It's not wood?
It's probably fake. Yeah, there you go.
This might be the first year that we're not going to get sick via our kids.
Why?
Every other year,
yeah,
we are so sick this time of year. Like, I don't know. I've had pneumonia twice. I've gotten the shingles. Like we always have the cold or the flu. I think it's just from kids bringing it home from school.
Jason's saying he has not been sick, but
when our family gets sick, Jason gets sick for like maybe a couple hours. The kids are sick for like a day or two. I'm sick for like 2 months.
Is that because of the, what's it called that you're on?
N-acetylcysteine.
Yeah, probably.
NAC. Yeah.
NAC.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I do weird things too. Like I'll drink olive oil straight, or I'll do apple cider vinegar. I don't know.
You and Dale should be on the podcast with us because that's what he does every morning. And I will dabble in those two particular things that you mentioned. And then I just get distracted and I quit.
I do too. After like 3 days, I'm like, this isn't working.
I don't feel anything.
That's right.
I just think there's a lot of things to do in the morning. Like if you see my supplements, it's not like 20, but it's like, 8. And once I dish those out, I'm tired. I don't want to dish anything else out. And I got to move on to something else. So these are all time-consuming things that Dale likes to take his time ingesting in the morning. And I'm like, I got to go...
You got stuff to
do something on the computer. Yeah. Something. But the fact that you are getting things like shingles and had, was it pneumonia?
I had pneumonia twice. I had to cancel a big show a few years ago.
Yeah.
It was really, really terrible. But yeah, I am beginning to think that perhaps I'm not living in the most balanced way.
Oh, yeah?
I know that I'm not.
A big substance abuser?
No.
What
do you mean?
Well, when you say not, life balance, you're not smoking cigarettes.
No, I've never
smoked a cigarette?
That's not true. I have smoked a cigarette, but not a full cigarette. I've tried smoking, but I have never, ever, not once had a sip of alcohol, nor have I had
you're not missing
Coca-Cola or Pepsi.
Good for you.
No,
I can't drink those either.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not a pop drinker.
I kind of missed it. Like it was, nobody's drinking anymore really. So it's fine.
It's true.
But yeah, no, I am not living a balanced life, and it's not sustainable. And like Jason and I have been really busy, and it's difficult because we truly enjoy, like most of what we do, we really enjoy, but I'm just finding I can't do it all at once.
Oh, yeah. It should be one thing at a time. I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
We're here to fix all of your
didn't know that,
issues
Christina.
on the Chat with Heart podcast. Welcome, by the way, to a Chat with Heart podcast.
Hey,
both of you, Jason and Meaghan.
We're happy to be here.
I'm curious how are we gonna change this? Let's just spend a couple minutes here. What are we gonna change? And then we could check in next year.
What are we gonna change?
Are you gonna drop some things?
Yeah.
Like, are you guys on
I'm quitting
boards of
quitting
things
a bunch
or
of
something?
things.
What are you gonna quit?
I don't know. Just like jobs. I have like 15 jobs right now, and I'm gonna quit some of them.
Yeah.
And what about you, Jace?
I'm
just letting go of things. Like I'm letting go of people and things and activities that I just, if I feel like I'm hanging on, I'm letting it go.
Good.
And if it stays, then that's great. And if it doesn't, I gotta just let it go.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't do as many things as Meaghan, so I don't have as many things to let go of. I feel
that's true. He basically just runs along after me and cleans up all the messes that I make.
Yeah. Okay.
So you'll probably have less to do when I'm not making so many mistakes and making so much work for you.
I wouldn't put it exactly like
I totally. He's just really nice.
He is really nice, but I'm sure it's one of those things where you kind of, when one person is, perhaps struggling or overworking, the other person's picking up the slack.
Yeah.
Like that is a good sign, a sign of a good partner. But of course, if you are burning out, you have to put your foot down and say, I can't do this. I'm only at 30%.
Yeah. What about you? Are you balanced?
I feel balanced right now. Yeah.
That's
but
really good.
not without, like, I started an SSRI, I think almost 2 years ago now. And I think it has helped me make the tough decisions to let things go. But I recognize now that I maybe had a little bit, definitely some OCD tendencies. And especially when it came to work.
Yeah.
or kind of this. I was chasing some things.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you're a super high achiever.
Well, that's really kind of you to say, because I actually don't do very much anymore. I don't.
That's why I need to learn
happy.
from you. I need to learn from you.
Anytime you want to talk about not achieving anything and doing far less. But I find like I work, I really do try to listen to my body, and I'll get inspired, and I'll work in spurts, but I really worked hard for many years to whittle things down so that I could focus on one thing at a time. That was really important to me. And so and I say no to, not that I get a lot of asks, but I just I do say no to things a lot quicker. Yeah. Even if there's I found there was a long time I was afraid to say no for either this will be good for my career, quote unquote, or I just couldn't afford when I was only doing music.
Yeah.
If I said no to something, I just couldn't afford to say no. I needed the money. Mm-hmm. And so, I made adjustments in my life that I was like, okay, here's some rules. This is how much I need to make. Here we have our security systems in place. We've been working on that, savings and things like that. And if something bad happens, we're going to be okay. When all that's taken care of and your will and all that is in order,
you're not joking though.
No, I'm not joking.
As two self-employed people, you guys and us as well, we have kids, so that throws a whole wrench in the mix. So it's not I feel like when it was just us, we could just not turn on the heat, say for a month.
Yeah.
We don't have that option anymore. But it's the same. Yeah. When both of you are living this kind of precarious lifestyle of we have no idea how much we'll make next year.
Yeah.
You have to live like that, right?
Yeah. And so for now, and I realize this could change, right? I have a part-time job that allows me the flexibility to stay home and the mental stability, peace of mind, and I'm going to pay my bills and still have my music, and there's revenue from that as well, which is also peace of mind and financial freedom to some extent. But you know what? I did cutting things down time-wise, work-wise, as I was a workaholic. I intentionally made more time for my friendships and my family, and my life has been enriched by that, no doubt. I spend way more time with my girlfriends on the phone. Having just cold calling people. Remember that? Mm-hmm. You just call someone and be like, what are you up to?
Yeah.
In my PJs, hair's a mess, no makeup.
That. Yeah. I do that with my sisters. I talk to my sisters like that, every day pretty much. But I would love to do that more with friends, and just what you're describing is what I'm needing to work towards, because I never listen to my body. I tell my body on the regular, I'm like, you just be quiet. We have to do this. We have to get this done. And then my body's like, why are you so mean to me all the time? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know I have to change this. And now it's years and years later. Yeah. And my body's like, I've been telling you to stop and stop and stop.
Yeah.
And so when I get all these illnesses, Jason and I have both had shingles in our late 30s to early 40s, and just illnesses, and it's just, I feel like it's my body being like, you have got to slow down and change things. Yeah.
Can I ask about shingles? What was that like for each of you? I know Dale had it once, but was it wild?
I'll tell you all about mine.
I want to hear all about it. We had a chat with Hart. We love listening to ailments and how you overcame that ailment. Do we have some pictures we could put up on Instagram?
Mine wasn't that bad, really. Some people get it really bad. I watch a lot of health videos, and I just saw one today where somebody had it on their face, and it looked horrible. Anyways, here's my brief story about shingles and why I think I got it. So, I was just playing basketball one day, and then I was like, oh man, I'm really sore. Maybe it was from basketball the night before that I was playing. And then I woke up the next day and I'm sore again. My back is kind of sore. Nothing crazy. And then all of a sudden I started getting a rash on my chest and on my back the same the same side on both. And so I'm doing some research, and I was like, I think it's shingles. And I was pretty young at the time. It was, so I would have been 35, I think, which that's really young for shingles. And it was, I've done this kind of thought analysis like recently, that it was in September of 2014, and I know all these dates because we had just had our first kid in August of 2014, and Meaghan, I don't think she'll mind me saying this, was in pretty rough shape after that pregnancy, and she was on a walker and everything, and do
you mind him saying that?
No, it's the truth.
I think
it was really terrible.
Wow.
I think she's said it publicly. But anyways.
Yeah.
I had I had hyperemesis, which is constant nausea and vomiting during pregnancy for 9 months. It was like I had the flu, and Jason had to take care of me while we were trying to work. And then I had a really, really traumatic delivery where I had 4th degree tears and had to have like over 100 stitches, and things were broke. My hips were broken. And so we were supposed to go on tour, and then we couldn't go on tour. So our label dropped us and our manager dropped us. And like, so we had no job and no career. And now we have this new baby. And then Jason's
it's
like,
no biggie. I don't know.
I wonder why.
Yeah. So
no big whoop. Like what?
But I felt
That
like,
stressed you out?
yeah, I felt like I couldn't say anything.
No.
And because I'm like, well, man, shingles compared to all that, it was just like, well,
Oh.
and
But Jason, you were holding down the fort. Like you were trying to help manage me, and you're a new dad.
Yeah.
And might I add, there are no supports for new dads.
Yeah.
There are supports for new moms, but not as, if there are any. I didn't know that. I didn't ever hear of any supports for new fathers.
yeah, I don't know of any either. So, and I'm trying to work, trying to make any money because we don't have any money coming in.
Yep.
And then I'm trying to look after a baby and look after Meaghan as best as I know how. And so I felt like I can't complain about anything because she is dealing with like 100 times more than me. And back then I didn't have the relationships that I do now where I felt like I could talk to anybody about it.
Yeah.
It's not like I get together with the guys over football and beers and like be like, hey, so I just have this kid and I don't know what I'm doing and how about this? My wife is in a walker right now. And it's just
No,
because I don't watch football, I don't drink beer, and
Did you have those like friends though at that time?
no, I don't. Not really.
Yeah.
Like back then, I just had friends that I would talk up to about music and about like gear and stuff, and that was basically as far as it went.
So you think that was your body basically?
Yeah, I was bottling up everything.
Yeah.
And I was stressed out.
Yeah.
And it's so funny when we went to our doctor, I called to make an appointment for the doctor. I was like, I think my husband has shingles. And she's like, he doesn't have shingles. He's only 35. Why would he have shingles? And then I remember us going to the doctor and her being like, yes, this is shingles. And then her saying, are you guys under any stress? And Jason, you being like, well, I don't feel stressed. And I was just like, yes, we are stressed.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
But I think that's Jason being like, no, I'm not feeling this. I'm not stressed. And I think a lot of, not just like, I think a lot of men have to do that. And women too. Like we just ignore ourselves all the time. And I don't want to ignore myself anymore.
Please stop.
So yeah.
You too. This is
take
great. You're
some
talking about,
lessons.
but look how
We're
far you've
talking
come.
about
You're
it.
talking about it now on a Chat with Our podcast.
That's right.
And I think things are changing. I do know a lot more men who are more vocal about this kind of thing. But just so you know, Dale also had shingles, and he was probably around 35, Dale? 36. And it was during a time when, and it's very stressful for Dale to spend money. I remember a story your mother tells about having to spend your own money on like a popsicle or something. I don't know if that's the story, but You were
And
like,
that's what gave him shingles?
that story, when he was 6 years old, he bottled it up. He had to spend his own money on popsicle. No, I'm not even going to tell the story. I'll have to have Jail's mom on here to tell the story. He doesn't like to spend money, and we were buying this house that we're in right now, and moving, and I think that was quite stressful for you, and that's what we blame the shingles
That's incredibly
on.
stressful. Yeah. It's a huge change, a huge risk. Like, I can see how that would be really, really stressful.
Yeah. So
yeah,
this is great. So you
this
got
is my New Year's resolution is to quit more stuff.
Yeah.
Listen to my body at all. Yeah. I
love
really
it.
need to.
And what about playing more games or like picking questions?
Yeah, I want to play games
out of a hat.
Yeah.
And that's what actually I've prepared for us today. I literally wrote these all today
I'm so
on
excited.
some little cards. So we're each going to have this hat that Olivia likes to eat. She's gone. Oh, she's in Dale's office.
Yeah.
All right. That's my cat, Olivia.
She's just hanging out over
So,
there.
Jason, why don't you go first? So you take the hat. Take the hat. Yeah. And we'll all answer it or not. You can even pass if you want to pass.
Oh, pass.
Okay.
Okay. No, I'm not going to pass any of them.
Okay.
What would you make if money were no issue?
What would we make? Is this a good
Maybe
question?
coffee. Maybe lattes and music.
Yeah. Are you think?
Maybe a podcast.
Okay. Wink, wink. Okay. Yeah. Foreshadowing.
So pretty much
else?
what you're doing now?
Yeah. You
That's like your life now, pretty much. Right?
like? Do you want to make these lattes like open up a cafe kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't know. It might lose its joy then if I did that. Maybe.
So you
I
just
don't
want to
know.
do this for you? Because you're already doing that.
Yeah, I am
no,
already doing
there's
that.
no wrong answers.
Um,
Actually, that's a good sign. What I'm hearing is that you actually are not so far off from where you want to be, which is awesome, dude.
I do like making lattes for people, like visitors and stuff.
Yeah, I'm coming over. I've already said that.
What else? I don't know. I'll think some more on it. But
Okay.
yeah, music. I do music because I do
Yeah.
love music.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
making music is fun.
it really is fun. We are lucky to have that ability.
Yeah.
Do any of us read music,
No.
Jason?
No.
I figured you were a chart maker.
He's a chart
it would take
person.
me forever to read a piece like that.
Okay.
But you can read charts.
Yeah.
And he knows like 6th and 4th. Do you know those things?
Not really, but
Yeah.
I used to excel in theory when I was really young, like I think 8, 9, 10. I don't understand it now really or care about it. Isn't that horrible?
No.
I should. I've tried, you guys, I have taken so many lessons and tried to self-teach myself. And then
Is it like
I
you
let
can't
go.
concentrate? Like what is
Yeah,
it? Why
I
can't
lose interest?
Yeah, I do too. Do you have ADD?
I don't think
Which is a misnomer because you have a lot of attention for certain things that are interesting and zero attention for things that are boring.
I don't know if I do because I don't know if I have any of the symptoms, but it is in my family. I do
Okay.
know that for a fact.
Okay.
Although no one's been diagnosed, so I shouldn't say for a fact. You should never say that if you actually don't have any proof. This is an assumption. I don't know. I guess I'm just not. I have a hard time caring about lessons and what people want me to do in order to excel in things. And I am more of a follow your gut feel. It's not that I'm not curious about something. I do want to learn more about certain things, but I haven't put much thought into it. I don't like taking lessons anymore.
But what would you make?
Oh, I would make music and I'd make like a dance record. I'd make like a disco record, or I would just all kinds of different albums, like different genres. And I'd also make really big shows that maybe no one would buy tickets to, but I'd still make the shows
Just
and
for
make them
fun.
free for everybody so they would come.
Yeah.
And then everybody would be like, oh, this is great. And everyone would be paid really well. And we would just, every day we would go, I used to, did you ever see the movie What's Love Got to Do with It? The Tina Turner story?
Right. Yeah.
Well, in that movie, she goes to rehearsals every day and everybody gets paid. And I thought, well, that's what I want to go and work on these shows every day and then do these big shows. But I don't like touring enough anymore to tour stuff. So I would just want to have a residency. Yeah. What about you?
You're describing my holiday show.
Oh, good. This is great. Let's talk about the holiday show because we talked about getting this out like in 2 days.
Yeah.
Like, because it's next weekend.
It's a week from today.
Yeah. So tell me.
No, yeah, that's exactly what I was like. I don't want to tour. I can't tour. I don't have the energy. I just want to play one show maybe every year, every 2 years. Yeah. And I just want to make it as fun as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And I want to pay everybody.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Amazing. Check. Okay.
This is what I would do this is what I would make if money was not an issue. I pretty much do everything I'm doing, which is music and art and painting and books and a bunch of other things. Yeah. But I would also make the wildest, most incredible treehouse you could imagine. Like, it would have pulleys and ropes and windows, and it'd be fully insulated. You could like live in there if you wanted to, with a huge slide going down to the bottom for like fast escapes. And there would definitely be a fridge and like electricity up there
for you.
Yeah. And friends who want to stay at a treehouse.
Yeah.
That's what I would make. And, oh man, I've always had this fantasy of like, if I drive by, I don't know what I'd be making with this, but if I ever drove by an accident, I would just get out and I would give those people $1,000. And I'd just be like, I know this is terrible right now. You're okay. Everybody's okay. Here's $1,000. Get your car fixed. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to need more money, but
probably.
That's nice of you. That's nice of you. That would help.
Yeah.
Like, deductibles are usually $1,000. So that helps. If they even have insurance. I love that. Yeah. Can you imagine if they don't?
I feel for people when I drive by accidents. I'm just like, I've been there. I know how that feels.
Oh yeah? You've been in
I've been in one accident where it was my fault. Yeah.
That's scary.
It wasn't actually that scary. I just like rear-ended a cab driver. Like, I just bumped into, there was no damage or anything.
Okay.
But, yeah. He was really mad until I started crying, and then he was really nice to me. So it worked out. Anyway.
All right. Next question.
Okay.
This is good. This is good.
Okay. I like these questions. Okay. What do we got here? I'm digging deep. Something you forgot you were good at.
Jason?
That's a really good question. What's something you forgot you were good at? Do you mean like when you were a kid or something?
Could be, yeah. Something you used to do that you're really good at that you've just let go. Or, I used to horseback ride. I used to love horseback riding, dressage. I love dressage. Didn't really love show jumping, but yeah, I loved working around horses and taking care of them and loved riding them.
That's so cool. Huh.
Yeah.
What about you, Mingo?
What'd you do when you were a little kid? Like, was there something you obsessed over?
Guitars.
Were you always?
I was a teenager, kind of when I was a little kid. Like, I don't know if I forgot about this, but it kind of took a long time where I just didn't do it. Like, I love impressions. And
I used to love doing impressions too.
I used to do it as a kid all the time. But then I never did, like, when I was in, like, high school or college.
Yeah.
Like, I used to do wrestlers, like, when I was, like, a kid.
Uh-huh.
And now I like doing... I think the first time I got back into impressions was when we were on Warner Music. And I used to always, like... do impressions of Warner artists around the Warner staff.
Oh, yeah. Really? Like,
but it's like it's like how they would sound if they talked the way they sang.
Okay.
For example, I'd be like a Warner guy's name is Dave, and I'd always talk like Billy Talent, how I thought Billy Talent should talk based on his singing voice. I don't know if this is making any sense.
Did they get it? Did they catch on?
Yeah. They got it, and they thought it was. I think they thought it was funny, or they were just amusing me. It'd be like,
you were just funny. It was funny.
If you're not a Billy Talent fan, you have no idea what I'm gonna do right now. But like, it's just like, hi Dave, how are you doing?
Yeah. See, I would not. That's hilarious.
I probably clipped the preamp. How
that is hilarious, but I don't know who Billy Talent even is.
Yeah, he just has a real like.
Oh my God.
Like
Oh, dude. Who else did you
I
do?
do like Ron Sexsmith. And
Okay.
no offense,
Dave
Ron,
Gunning,
if you're
yeah.
listening. I do Dave Gunning too.
Oh, Dave Gunning. Do Dave.
He does.
Okay.
He'll like do Dave Gunning, but like you know how Dave is so nice.
Yeah, he's coming on the podcast in January.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, okay. It's going to be great.
Anyway, so
It's about time there, Christina.
Oh, my God, Dave. It's so good. I'm surprised that
he's
you're
early.
here.
He showed up early.
Yeah.
Might gain some followers, I think.
Hey, I hear. Oh my goodness, this is freaking me out. If I close my eyes, so I hear you've done a book and Meaghan illustrated it, Dave.
Oh yeah, I was on her all the time. She had to get it. Like I was like, Meaghan, get those paintings done now. Like this is something he would never say in a million years because he's so nice.
God. But I'll get him to say it on the podcast. I'll get him to listen to this, and then
We've called and like left
Okay.
messages for him.
I'm good friends with his brother-in-law too.
We left you a message as Dave, didn't we?
I thought that was Dave
Did I? No.
on Instagram. That
Yeah.
wasn't that you weren't actually with Dave Gunning.
No, you really
What?
thought that was
I
Dave
thought it
for
was-
real?
Yes, because you did a book with him. You illustrated a book with him, and so I was like, "Oh, she's over at Dave's hanging out." I completely 1,000% thought.
Sometimes I'll throw in things like where I think people are gonna know. I'll be like, "Hey, Davey G here," or like something he would never say. Or, "Hey, this is Little Dave."
I mean, it sounds like something he would say. It sounds like, and that voice. I feel like he would say he's a goofball too.
He's
Oh my God, that's some
and
talent,
me,
all right.
Me, it's a form of flattery if I am doing my take on his voice because I think he's
We're
fantastic.
huge Dave Gunning fans at our house.
And I've worked on Trump too.
Oh,
I've worked
boy.
on that impersonation.
It's good though. We at our recent show. Well, in the summer we played a little tiny show, and Jason did an impersonation of Trump saying things people wished he would say. So
Like, I love you, or
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Immigrants are wonderful.
Oh,
Everyone's invited to live in this or like tariffs are terrible.
oh,
you gotta
that's-
do it.
you got to do some Trump impersonate, like saying, "I'm sorry that I'll do better next year."
I'm sorry. I'm such an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that clipping on the preamp, Dave. Or no, not Dave. I know your name. It's Dale. Beautiful guy. Beautiful guy. Christina, what a podcast. Beautiful
Wow.
Canada. Landscape out the window. I love it. I love it.
I feel like I should be paying you for this.
You should be. You should be. Think of all the viewers.
I had no
This
idea.
is it. There's no viewers.
My God, how has Saturday Night Live not hired you?
Think of all the listeners. Wow. A lot of listeners coming.
Not a lot, but
A lot of listeners coming now.
Trump, if you think
I-
there's
The grossest thing is when he'll like hit on me in Trump's voice. And
oh,
that's so disgusting.
yeah, that is gross. That's
Like,
just
get out of here.
Ew.
He's like,
Is this your bedroom
making
talk? Your
hot
bedroom
stuff or
voice?
whatever.
It's time for
Fudge.
bed.
Oh gosh, is this what you do with your kids?
It's time to get into something a little more comfortable. Huh, Dale?
Oh my goodness, this is definitely going to get more listenership. I am so impressed that I really want to encourage this. Like this is.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing the groundlings? And like,
Maybe this is something I should make if no money were no issue.
yeah, totally. I mean, like I used to do impersonations like when I was a kid, like Ed Grimley or like all the Saturday Night Live characters, but I don't remember any. I couldn't pull them up right now.
Money isn't an issue. I'm a good businessman. Everybody thinks so. Everybody tells me.
Oh my God.
I think I'm gonna clip that and put it on Instagram and say I had Trump on the podcast.
show. You gotta say like A Chat with Heart is the best podcast.
Yeah.
Amanda's podcast. Like that's gotta be.
Yeah.
A chat? No. I don't make mistakes. That wasn't a mistake. I meant to do that.
It's a chat with heart,
A
Trump.
chat with heart. I have a big heart. They say, wow, what a heart. The biggest heart. The best heart you've ever seen. And this is a podcast. What a podcast. Is that a good advertisement?
I think I'll take it. I think
It
I'll,
is. It is the best.
Oh my God.
I
Okay.
love it. What about you, Meaghan? Did you
Okay.
answer this? Did you? Jason, thank you, Trump.
Yeah. Let's hear it. Trump, everybody.
Yeah, everybody clap. Let's add some. Livia, She doesn't care.
No.
She's like shampoo.
Something I forgot I was good at. I'm gonna say either maybe like dancing or telling stories.
Oh wow.
I used to share. I think telling stories maybe. Dancing is like, that's going back to when I was like 5 and I had no concern about anything and I just like moved around. And I remember we had this, I went to this dance class and we danced to Michael Jackson's Thriller. And it was just like the best song and I freaking loved Michael Jackson and I was just so into it.
Yeah.
But then I also, he's here.
Okay. Michael's here with us now.
Here.
This is, I don't know if I want Michael on the podcast, but we've already had Trump, so I guess we'll make room.
But then I also used to share a room with my sisters, and we would just tell each other stories to fall asleep. And I don't know, I forgot I was good at that. It was fun.
I haven't forgotten that you're good at storytelling.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. So here, let's dig deep.
You tell stories in like your songs all the time.
Yeah.
I suppose.
You still, you're putting that early practice.
And paintings.
Yeah. You're a storyteller.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Something you can laugh about now that once felt mortifying.
Ooh.
Something we can laugh about.
I have so
now.
many.
Like this.
You can go first,
Okay.
Meaghan.
Okay.
Yeah, Meaghan.
But you guys, okay.
It was a spooky Halloween.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to.
So funny. Okay, so something I can laugh about now, but at the time was like horrendous. I don't know where this show was happening, but we were playing a show, and it was a smaller venue, and they were so excited to have us, and it was like such a thrill to just be there, and they had decorated the stage really beautifully, and we did a lot of touring at Christmas because we have all these like Christmas albums and Christmas music, and so there was like, you know, live greenery and a tree, and then they had lit all these candles around my mic, and it was just like gorgeous. And I was wearing this very poofy dress with a big crinoline under it, and I needed to, like, when you're wearing a big poofy dress that's not long, you can't like just bend down at the waist. You have to like kind of do a little squat and like mess with your pedal or whatever, right? Your guitar pedal on the floor. So this is what I did. I did a little squat down, and then I stood up, and I noticed that there was like a huge plume of smoke sort of emanating from my behind. And I realized that when I had squatted down, I had extinguished a bunch of the candles.
Oh my God,
were
that's
on
dangerous.
stage, yeah.
But you put them out. They didn't
Nothing caught on fire, thank God. But like, I stood up and I was like, oh, there's smoke all around me. And then I started feeling all this hot wax like dripping down the back of my legs because I had candle wax over me. Anyway, it was really horrifying. And people were like, what's she gonna do? Because, you know, there's no hiding what had just happened. And I just kept going. I said something like, well, nobody can say that my ass isn't hot or something like that. And then I just like, I just kept going with the show.
Good one.
At the time, it was really mortifying.
Yeah.
But now it's okay.
That is a great story. I was enthralled. I was with you. I thought it was going to be something like you got up and then your dress poof, like had stuck to something in the back of your head, and then your ass was showing. You know, that's awesome. Jason, have you thought about it?
This was around Christmas, and Halloween.
Okay.
I woke up at 4:30 yesterday, so my brain's a little foggy. Anyways, it was just a normal day, doing some work.
I love how this is starting.
Had some lunch.
What did you have for lunch?
I had some leftover chili.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Just day continues on, you know.
Okay.
We were invited to somebody's house for supper and to watch some Halloween movies.
There's like a Halloween party. There's
like a Halloween party.
A bunch of couples were there.
And there was a couple other couples. We didn't really know them very well.
Okay.
We go over. Oh, what are they having for supper? Oh, chili.
Oh,
a double dose of chili that day. Great. It was great. It was good. I had some. I enjoyed it. And then we watch a movie. The movie was Ghostbusters. They turn off all the lights, which is not a good recipe for me.
Why?
Because I fall asleep.
Okay. Uh-oh.
So here I am. It's dark and Ghostbusters is going on, and I'm like falling asleep. And then the next thing you know, I wake up to the sound of my own fart.
Dead silent. Everybody was just silently watching.
Oh,
And
my
I'm embarrassed.
God.
And
Did you laugh?
I totally laughed, and no one else did. It was what?
and then I said, at least nobody can say my ass isn't hot.
You said that?
No.
That's a good one. That's so good.
No, I said nothing. I did not acknowledge it.
My.
I burst out laughing. Then no one was laughing, so I immediately stopped laughing.
What?
And then we were like,
Oh,
what are we gonna do?
yeah.
And I
That's-
was mortified at the time. I was super embarrassed. I guess I can laugh at it now, though.
Yeah.
We did, and we did.
It's really funny. We just did.
That is awesome.
It is a good story. Yeah.
I remember an embarrassing story, but I don't think it's that funny. Dale, do you know of any embarrassing stories? Yeah. I know I've embarrassed myself, but I mean, this is so dumb. I'm going to explain this, but I don't expect anybody to get it. Okay.
Try us.
I'm also trying to remember it too. So I have very bad vision, and
Do you wear contacts?
I do work. I'm wearing them
Okay.
right now. Yes. And we had moved into Wallace Bay. Dale and I had a little in-law suite we were renting, and we were very close friends with the woman, Catherine, who owned the house. And so one morning I came outside to put the trash out. I wasn't wearing my glasses or my contact lenses, so I couldn't see anything, but I saw Catherine outside, and she was standing probably like a yard. How long is a yard? A yard away. Like what, 1,000 meters? I don't know.
Okay.
Let's say. And she looked at me and she said, "Good morning." And I'm like, "Hey, morning." She's like, "Do you like my boat?" And I thought she was talking about her vehicle. Like,
Okay.
it was a big,
Like it's a big car?
SUV.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's really great. Like, when did you get it? And she's like, "Oh, I just got it." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's going to be awesome to drive. Like, it must be and really nice." And I'm having this conversation with her about her vehicle. I thought. And then later on, I went outside and I looked over to where she was standing and had my contacts in at this point. And sure enough, there was an actual rowboat that she had been standing in or next to on the grass.
Oh my God.
And she was actually talking about her boat.
But you
And
just couldn't see it.
I couldn't see it. And for some reason, I thought that was the most embarrassing thing and funny to me. And I couldn't wait to find her and tell her how embarrassed I was. And I kept thinking, like, you know, you obsess over it. You're like replaying,
Yeah.
what did I say about her boat or her vehicle that, like, she must have thought I was a complete idiot. Anyway,
Oh
that's it.
man.
Okay.
Okay, one more question.
Another
I
question.
wish we could stay. I really
Yeah.
do. Like,
Come back sometime.
Yeah, we
Drop
should.
the kids and just come stay
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Weirdest song you've gotten a song idea.
wait,
Weirdest. Oh,
Jeez, I mentioned the 4:30.
that's okay.
Weirdest place you've gotten a song idea.
I mean, I have weird stories that I've gotten from experiences, and like I think of the Puppet Museum and the story about in Amsterdam, and I had we had done quite a bit of touring in the Netherlands because we had gotten this agent who we no longer have, unfortunately, but and so we got to see so much of the Netherlands and loved it. And there were just a lot of, like, you know, there's so much European history and everywhere you go. And people are telling you about the history of the venue or like what the town used to be like or what it was like during the war or before and after. And you're like trying to, you know, absorb all this information that, you know, growing up in Canada, not that we don't have our own history, but it's just like, wow, this is the time I read about in history class. Anyway. And, but we were in Amsterdam playing our first show. I've told the story at many of our shows about this song, The Puppet Museum. And I'm sitting at the bar at this venue called the Bulldog Hotel. And the manager, I'm chatting with him after the show, which nobody was listening. There was so much smoke marijuana smoke in the room. There were televisions on all over the bar. People were watching soccer. Like, they did not care that we were there, but we were so excited because we had a gig in Amsterdam. This was like in 2011. And anyway, after the show, I was just chatting, getting to know this manager and asking him what it was like raising a family and in the red light district, basically. And at one point I said, is this your dream, working here at the Bulldog Hotel? And he said, no, I have 5,000 puppets or dolls, I don't remember, at home in my closet, and I'd like to open a museum. I think that's what he said. Memory is reconstructive, but like when I got home from a tour, I remember I was sitting up in this little room upstairs above us here, and I just started writing the song The Puppet Museum with my electric guitar, and sort of going through all the stories of like that I'd heard in the Netherlands and kind of romanticizing this place, and that's it.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's so weird. What about you?
I don't know. I'm mostly just
sitting at home
producing songs, or when I think about songs, I'm like in the moment of doing the song at a desk. So, I might come up with an idea in the bathroom.
Bathroom, yeah. It's a good place to think about. Have you ever, because you guys have been to some places and had some interesting experiences. I remember I read the book that you wrote, and there's definitely some highs, and lows and highs and scary moments and stuff in there. Do you pull from like those experiences sometimes when you're songwriting, or do you think, nope, those are just part of my life? But like, do you ever go to like your memories and go and try to pull stuff for a moment or an idea from that and roll with it?
Do you? We work like this. It's more like I kind of bring the ideas to Jason, and then he makes something to fit my idea, or you come up with your own thing because you're like, this sound is really cool, and then you show it to me, and then I'm like, oh, that works with this thing I'm working on. Cool. But like, yeah. So most of your ideas, would you say, Jason, you get them like at the desk while you're like working?
Yeah.
I would say like most of my good ideas come when I'm doing something else with my hands. It's like half my brain is occupied and the other half is like just roaming around. I try not to think too much about the past, though. I don't know.
I think that's healthy. Can be healthy.
Maybe, but sometimes I feel like I'm avoiding it. Like there's a lot of painful things. Like when I think back about my Have a Heart book, and like how I had forgotten I wrote that.
Well, do those things like still trigger you? Like, or have you kind of moved?
It's more like just the way that all ended with River's birth. So heartbreaking in so many ways. I don't think I've really processed it yet. I think I've just been like trying to survive with having kids, and they're getting old enough now though, like they've started sleeping through the night, which sounds ridiculous to say, but honest to God, like they did not sleep through the night for 8 years, probably not both of them through the whole night. Wow. So I don't think for 8 years after we like lost our career and everything, I wasn't sleeping. So it was like we had to just keep surviving, and I'm like kind of coming out of survival mode now, and so maybe I'm a bit more reflective about things, and I'm like, it's time to get in tune with my body and think about stuff.
Sorry to interrupt, but I will. Okay. When you say lost your career, because like I think about you guys as you've I don't think of a lot that you lost a career at all. I really do see everything you guys totally.
We had to pivot.
You pivoted hard, like in an amazing, real hard pivot. But you did it in the greatest. I feel like you have, because also the decision to stay home, whether it was a decision or not a choice, like what you did with that.
It was kind of a decision. It was kind of, well, thank you, Christina. Like,
inspiring.
I have to say about you, like during that time, which was probably the hardest time in my whole life, I had like a few people who reached out to me, and I think a lot of people didn't really know what to say, but you're one of the people who reached out to me. Aww. And I will never, ever forget that about you. And like, I will always have your back and be your fan.
Thank you. I totally forgot. No, I'm kidding.
Not just because you're like an amazing person, but it's like, you know how when you are a fan of somebody, like a genuine fan, like you really love their music, and then you find out more about who they actually really are, you are legit.
What you've done with everything that happened to you, it's remarkable. Like, because you pivoted, but you were able to keep doing all the things you do love to do.
Well, it I had to say though, it has been hard as fuck. It really has. Like, there's nothing to fall back on. It's 100% like us just constantly hustling.
Yeah.
There's no other side job or like regular job. And it's all fans supporting what we do. So it's like, it feels incredible. And we started doing custom songwriting for people. And I mean, that was amazing in so many ways, but also deeply, deeply traumatically difficult. Like, because our kids, we didn't put them in daycare. So we were working and caring for kids and trying to record at home with kids. We didn't have like a separate studio space. It's all like in our house. And I just remember being so exhausted and really artistically fulfilled with like writing songs for people and hearing about the, like all of these real serious personal details about people's lives, and just kind of being like this place where people felt like they could really open up, because I'm not part of their daily life. I'm not going to judge them. I'm just their songwriter. And so it was like, it's been so many things, but it's been 9 years that we've been doing that full time. And it's been incredible. And it's also like time to maybe pivot again. I don't know. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear about more where you're going to pivot to. I mean, I know you don't know right now. We'll keep talking.
Yeah, we'll keep talking
outside the podcast. But let's chat about, because I know we have to let you get back to your Christmas with your family in Tatamagouche. And I want to talk about, because we're going to pump this out soon, so we want to talk about the upcoming big show.
Yeah.
And whatever else you want to plug.
Okay.
Both of you. Okay,
so I have, do you want to talk about anything?
Yeah, do you want to talk about anything, Jason?
No, I don't think so.
Not now, but we're going to have you back.
You got to come back for your project.
Yeah, there's some things that you've shared outside of this episode that, if they are, which they will, come to fruition.
It's going to be great.
Could be explosive.
I mean, in the best way. That's Dale Murray clapping, and that's pretty impressive. Ooh.
Well, we're really excited for our Christmas shows we have coming up December 19th and 20th at the Bellarose Art Center.
Cool. Where is that? The Bellarose Art Center.
It's what high school is
Clayton
it?
Park, Halifax.
Oh, cool. Halifax West High School.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah,
I've never been
it's
there.
a really cool theater.
Yeah?
You should check it out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like got a real cozy kind of, but really nice theater vibe. It's cool. So we'll be there Friday night, and Saturday it's a matinee.
19th, 20th.
19th and 20th. It's just going to be very, very, very Christmassy and festive. And I'm going to be wearing sparkles. And I've bought Jason a sparkly bow tie that I'm forcing him to wear.
That's awesome.
And there's going to be Santa and a magician and a children's choir. And it's just
so it is kid friendly, unlike your other shows.
Yeah. And I forgot to bring a copy for you, but I released a children's book, which I'm really excited about.
I'm going to buy it, so you don't have to bring a copy.
No, I want to give you a copy.
Okay,
for sure.
Give me a copy.
Yeah.
I do want a copy.
I will. Yeah. Of my song, It Snowed. It's the lyrics are what the book is.
Yeah.
And I drew all the pictures and...
Dream come true?
Yeah, absolutely a dream come true. Something I never ever thought I would be as like an author who has a book in a bookstore.
Yeah.
Not that like my lyrics are complicated, but I do have dyslexia, and so like considering myself an author is like kind of a mind trip for me, which is really exciting.
Hey, question. You know how you write songs for people? Like if people came to you and wanted to hire you to do the same for their songs or their books, like that, you do that too. Would you?
Oh, like make it into a book?
Yeah. Or tell us about what you did with Dave Conning. You're like, no.
We're talking about
see this. I want you to practice
a million
saying no.
hours.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No.
So you
no.
$1 million.
No, you're right.
$1 million.
You know what? No.
What?
I will not do that.
Okay.
It takes so long. It took me so long. It took me 8 months to do the illustrations.
For yours or for Dave's?
For my book
Okay.
and for same for Dave's.
Okay.
Yeah, like it takes me months and months, as Jason can attest. Because he is picking up all the slack that I am dropping while I'm furiously illustrating. But I also, what you were talking about, like with like perfectionism.
Yeah.
Even if I am making like 5 cents an hour, I will not rest until it is perfect for as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Like even if it's a problem, I just can't let it go until it's to my standards, no matter what it is, whether it's a painting or illustrations or anything. Having said that, I would do the best job for somebody like Dave, of course, and for myself. But yeah, I can't do people's books. No.
Gotcha.
No. Thank you for asking. I'm really proud of myself for answering
because other
that.
people will ask you, I bet. And I mean, I immediately was like, oh, I should never do that for mine. But if I get $1 million, though,
I will. Yes,
you'll work with me. Is that what
I
you're
will
saying?
work with you. Yes.
You heard it here on A Chat with Heart, everybody.
I would work with you.
Oh,
And me.
And you, Dave.
oh, I'm sorry. I was expecting Trump, but
No, I don't think so, Trump. Sorry.
I would.
Your loss.
I would only do that if we collaborated on a like I would write a big grant application and get so that we would both be like,
That'd be cool.
Wouldn't have to worry about money and just like you'd make coffees for us.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're not going to be involved, Jason, but you might not be. And so the coffees would be, and we could maybe put in the grant for the lattes, like for the cost of
we should do that.
Yeah.
You know, the book I did for Dave is To Be With You. Have you seen it?
No, not yet. I need to get that too.
Yeah, I got to give you a copy of that. It's like he wrote this beautiful song, To Be With You, and the lyrics are, all I want is to be with you all night long and all day too. And it's so lovely. And like, it sounds like a love song.
Yeah.
And then he told me, it's a song I wrote for my dog. And I was like,
That's
well,
really
dang
sweet.
it. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
And you know what I would love to illustrate a book about a kitty.
Okay, well, there is a song that I wrote with Dale and my friend Krista Keogh about Olivia.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Olivia. And
It sounds, it's off to a good start.
certainly have lots of photos of her to draw. That's her food.
Oh, supper time.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Oh yeah, you guys got to go. Hey,
yeah, we left.
This
the kids
has been
with the
too much
grandparents.
fun.
It really has.
so come back and we'll do. I have see this to my right, your left. There's a big thing of games.
Yeah. Ouija board.
I know it's
Yahtzee,
never worked
what?
for me. It's
No?
never worked.
Okay.
No. And no, I would ask you to play, but do you want to try it?
Maybe next time. I'm actually freaked out a little bit by it. I have
What?
had some experiences. We should talk about you should do it. I want you to do like a spooky podcast.
Okay.
sometime.
Oh, you should listen to my episode with
Laura
Laura
Simpson?
Simpson.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I've heard that one. Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't spooky enough.
Well,
We could go spookier.
yeah, maybe multiple ghost stories or
Okay.
like, yeah. And
Ooh.
I legit have some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring it.
That would be cool.
Well, it looks like we're going to spend more time in the future together, and I can't wait. And you're going to have more time because you're going to drop 8 things
That's right.
from your
I'm gonna start
busy
saying
list.
no.
Start saying no. It's so much fun. People understand too.
Yeah. And if they don't, no.
Any final words, Jason?
Thank you for having us. This was great, and I love hanging out with you guys. I feel like we are kind of on the same wavelength.
Can't wait to show you my supplements. Can I show you before you go?
Oh yeah.
Meaghan, love you. Thanks for any
I
final
love you
words?
too.
Is
Yeah,
it-
just thank you. Thank you for just like, I don't know. I'm just so grateful that you exist.
Oh, ditto.
Thanks for
All
having
right.
us.
Yeah, anytime. Almost. All right. We're done. Supplement time. I don't want to say goodbye to you. Oh, I don't want to say goodbye to you. Welcome to the Heartbeat Hotline, 1-902-669-4769. I'm the host of A Chat with Heart podcast, Christina Martin, and I'm so excited you called. Leave me your question, a suggestion for the podcast, or a comment about this episode. Please be aware your message may be used on the podcast and social media. Tell me your name, where you're calling from, and it's also fine if you want to remain anonymous. Thanks for listening. Have a great fucking day. Hey, thanks for listening to A Chat with Heart, produced by me, Christina Martin. Co-produced and engineered by my partner in life and sound, Dale Murray. Dale's not just a wizard with knobs, he's also a killer singer-songwriter, session musician, and music producer. Go snoop around his world at dalemurray.ca. The podcast theme song, Talk About It, and I Don't Want to Say Goodbye to You were written by me and recorded by Dale. Want to support what we do? You can snag CDs, vinyl, digital music, and some weirdly delightful merch like custom puzzles and temporary tattoo packs over on my Bandcamp. If you're into keeping indie art alive or just want good karma, become a monthly or yearly member on my Patreon. It's a platform that helps creators get paid to keep making stuff we love. I swear by it. Sign up, free or paid, at patreon.com/Christina Martin. If this podcast made you laugh, cry, think, or rage text your best friend, do me a solid, share it, rate it, review it, and hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts. And to all my little heartbeat listeners, stay weird, stay tender, and I'll catch you next time.